Good morning to Brazil. Good earlier morning to Tennessee. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor to have you in this live session to launch one more COIL project in this fall or spring fall in the US, spring in Brazil. And let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? This is a global transmission. Hayek will be live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the show.
Good morning again. It's a pleasure to be here with you. We are here with Professor Hannah Hämer from University of Tennessee and Professor Nathalia Cardoso, a very own professor from Hayek Global College. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor to launch yet one more COIL project together with you. To start introductions, tell us a little about your university, about your background, so people can get to know you.
Shall I start?
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, the University of Tennessee is a large enrollment university. Probably we're around 39,000 something now. By the time the fall semester settles in, we may be over 40,000 students. About 35,000 of whom are undergraduates, the rest graduate students. We are what is known as a land grant university, which in the American tradition means we have obligations to do research and service to the community as well as teaching. We have been a very long time. Matter of fact, the university is 2 years older than the state of Tennessee. We have a great diversity of students. We have students from all over the world, although, of course, the bulk of them are from Tennessee. We are in the eastern part of the state and the eastern time zone part of the state. Near the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the most visited park in the U.S., by the way. It is a lovely area with rolling hills. We have many fine recognized programs. Our supply chain management program over in business is one of the top in the country. Our College of Communication, I'm pleased to be a part of that. I think we have over 1,700 majors now, ranging from everything from advertising to PR to speech communication, information studies, and of course my area, journalism. And we have a very well-developed student media. We have a cable channel. We have a student newspaper, which is occasionally in print, more often online. 2 radio stations, one public radio station, one student radio station, and both on the airwaves. So we have a couple campus magazines. We have a very elaborate operation, and we're doing very well in student media competitions. Overall, we're in a fairly good place.
That's great. I believe our background here with Hayek is a bit different, which I think it's going to make this COIL project so enriching. Personally, we as a university, we aim to prepare students to study abroad. So the idea is that we are a smaller cohort of students. We started off this year after a period of preparation. I have been on board, I believe, since the beginning of the undergraduate course. And right now we have one class, which is our kickoff class this year, of amazing, great students. And our idea is to prepare students to go abroad. So to study like we do, like the first 2 years in Brazil with us in Hayek, in a very broad umbrella, as we say, of subjects coming from all kinds of areas, including mine, which is English composition. This semester, last semester, I taught world literature and culture, but they have IT focus, they have IT subjects, they have composition subjects, math subjects, economic subjects. And our students are preparing to really decide their major abroad. That is the idea. But the main point is that they leave Hayek with a strong, broad background on every bit of area, and then later on they will decide. Most of our students, I believe, are going to go towards marketing, towards business. So it's great that they have a little bit of each area, so that this can enrich them even more later on in their professional practice. Yeah.
You summed it up in an excellent way, Nathalia. Thank you so much. That's Hayek in a nutshell. Since the very beginning, we are looking into international, education, even in the MBA program, with which we started out in 2021. We had students from many countries, and this is bring me to my next question to you both. I mean, connecting with what Nathalia was saying and what Mark was saying about international students and international network and the possibility of getting connected. Where do you see the greatest value for students in getting connected with different countries and doing that either in person or even more so, or alternatively or complementary in the COIL projects?
I can start with an observation that probably the best way to communicate our contact globally is by direct visitation. We have some wonderful study abroad programs in our program. One of my colleagues just got back from a trip to Japan. He's setting up a program there. We also have a sports communication program in London, a full semester program in Valencia, Spain. I just got back from our shortest program, just 16 days, where we teach a reporting course in Prague. The students did wonderful work, and it looks like 6 of the stories are going to appear in our local news paper online. So those are the best opportunities. But a close second is what you guys do, and that is online arrangements to drop in, to experience one another through COIL or COIL-like arrangements. I'm teaching a global communication course, 2 sections of it. And the morning section is going to be working with Nathalia and her class. Now, so my global communication course is not just going to study global communication, it's going to communicate globally with students in Brazil. And they're going to work on a project together. And they're going to be teamed up to work on various parts of that project. We're going to do it, most of it synchronously via Zoom or other meetings, and maybe some asynchronous stuff via WhatsApp or other applications or even email. But what I hope that they will gain out of it is the perspective of, my goodness, other people do things differently, see things differently, but they're wonderful to interact with.
Yeah, I think it's been an honor to work with COIL projects here with Hayek, because I didn't get the chance to go to take advantage of other exchange programs while I was in university or in my postgraduate courses. But I think it's an amazing thing that has been developed in the past few years, is the possibility to do online collaborations because of the great networks and the internet. This is one of the most amazing things that have been in come up and coming in the past few years, is the possibility to connect all over the world. And I honestly, I was in my this will be my second opportunity to do a COIL with my students, and I was a bit skeptic, like, is it going to work? The project is amazing, very well prepared, lots of discussions, but we won't know until it happens. And I believe it was I think it is an amazing opportunity. I think our students are very much available and interested, and to collaborate. So of course, going abroad is an amazing experience for everyone, but I think this is a great opportunity for them to get a taste of what it's like to be exposed in a different environment with people from different backgrounds, different majors. And like Mark said, it comes in a very close second to an exchange program because it is shorter as well, and you don't have all the other necessity for availability, both for traveling, both for going abroad. And you do this in like a couple weeks, and then you get a little taste and still gain a lot from this program of international collaboration. So I think it's amazing. Our first experience was amazing, and I think the second one will top this one.
Good.
Absolutely, and I think there's so much in that, in what you said. Like, oh my God, people do things maybe different, have a different perspective on a specific topic, or maybe go or approach their task in a different way, develop task in a different way, and so on. So thinking a little more, or deepening a little more the idea of the COIL project that you are bringing in the next semester, could you talk a little about what you're planning to do with the students?
You want to go first, Natalie?
I could go. I was taking a look right before our live stream just to remember a little bit further, right? But we are going to talk about media freedom, both in the US and in Brazil, which is a great topic for both English composition, which is my subject, and global communications by Mark. And the idea is to develop. I have a little help here. The idea is to develop this critically thinking paper, yes, that is going to be conducted in groups that have to have, right, students from the University of Tennessee and students from Hayek Global College. And the idea is that it's going to be a multi-section, research-based comparative paper exploring both the state of news media and press freedom, both in Brazil and in the US. The idea, guys, is that the most important outcomes of the COIL project itself is to write a research paper, which is something that we always have to tell our students that as hard as it is, they are going to do this a lot in their life. They have to collaborate effectively, and they also will have to present the research findings clearly in an oral presentation format, so which we know sometimes it's a bit stressful for them, but like writing is going to be forever in their lives, and presenting even more. We know that in every area they choose, they always will have to present something. So presenting their paper is equally important as writing it in a well-organized way, right? But the most important part here, I believe, is to reflect on the ethical, political dimensions of media freedom in this very globalized world. We have a scenario here in Brazil, we have a different scenario in the US, and we believe that this project-based classes and COIL project in general are going to add a lot to our students' overall education.
As I explained the project quite well, I would add that oral communication and written communication are two things demanded by employers and expected for career development. And I think we will add into that mix research skills, the ability to find out information related to this topic. I think this topic works well for both classes, and I think it will be a revelation to all students who participate.
Exactly. And it's I am so excited about this project because I have a double degree, right? We have discussed this. I have a degree in English, but also in journalism. And it's a great opportunity to get in touch with researching journalism again. And I am in general very much excited. So in terms of topics and activities, We are going to talk a little bit about writing, which is important, identifying credible sources, which is a big problem nowadays for students, especially with AI. We are going to discuss common writing errors, how to attribute sources, advanced research strategies, which sometimes the students just Google and join the first link and that's it. They don't read the full paper, and which we know it's very important. And there will be a point in which we propose this overview of press freedom in terms of historical points for both Brazil and the US, and how to frame these research questions into this global media context that is required for global communications. Not only that, but students are required to collaborate independently, asynchronously, like we discussed before. And it's not only going to be the moments in class, but also in other structures like WhatsApp groups. Of our students are big fans of Instagram groups, but they get to decide, and having this independent connection is something that helps them grow very much as well. Yes, we are going to revise a rough draft, revise the strategies, and so on. And then by the end, they turn in the paper, and then we discuss in class all together their main findings. This is the overall schedule, I believe.
That is our plan. We worked this out quite easily and quite well together, exchanging drafts and having common ideas.
Exactly which is what we expect our students to do in October.
Yeah, and it seems like you're developing quite some skills there with the students, like critical analysis, like communicating globally, like also looking into maybe a topic that has been coming up. I think in the last 2 years or so, with more strength when we talk about freedom of press or press freedom, right? I believe so in Brazil that it's a hot a hot topic in Brazil, and it's a hot topic, and it probably is a hot topic in the US as well.
Oh, yes.
Like writing, putting like information that is well researched and not like just generated and not analyzed at all critically, and maybe also limits or challenges with the freedom of press, right? It sounds like a very exciting topic to me, especially when we are thinking of working together globally or internationally. What it means to be or to have press freedom in Brazil and press freedom in the US, particularly in your project, right?
Exactly.
It's a pressing global issue with implications for both countries.
Absolutely. And how would you then say that particular the global interaction for that experience on press freedom, or for that research project that you are looking into, will impact, or what impacts are you actually expecting for your students?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm expecting my students to gain a more global view of things, a less parochial look at the way things are. They should not assume things elsewhere are the same as in the U.S. And I think they will gain that just by their experience of working with the Hayek students. I think that what I hope to get out of it is a really good paper, that they have done good work and learned from the experience, as Nathalie was explaining, how to do research, how to evaluate sources, how to not just do a Google search and call it over, but how to cite sources properly. All that will go into their work. And by the way, if they do really good work, I'm hoping that I can enter it in something. We have an undergraduate research competition each year. And I was thinking maybe if the final paper was really good, I would see that it got entered in that.
That's wonderful. That's a very good idea. Maybe we could get inspired by something like that, right, Hannah, for Hayek, maybe considering all different projects discussed in all the year and all the classes. That was a very good idea. I thought it was fun. But what I expect our students to gain from this, of course, all of these points that Mark mentioned are great, but I was thinking about building critical thinking. Because when we compare one thing to another, right, when we compare A to B, it's not only seeing A and B, it's about seeing what lacks in A and B and how they can complement each other. And I was thinking about building this critical thinking, but and through intercultural communication. That's what I expect them to do. I expect them to analyze the press freedom situation in both countries and build from that. And not only that, but also how to maybe adapt what they learned into their own media reading. The whole idea of media literacy, about them getting exposed to news and being able to assert what is good, what is not, what is biased, which is not necessarily a problem, but some people don't realize that some media outlets are biased, which is not problematic, but people have to know about that. So when you encourage this critical thinking, I think you are building someone who has a better reading of the world. And I think what we are doing in the COIL projects, and which is very dear to me as a teacher, as an instructor, is that even though it is an English composition project, I want them to be able to take something from this to every single moment in their lives, in their professional lives, in their student lives. Some of them are going to grad school, some of them are going to the job market right after college. So I want them to be able to take this project and to use the skills, the critical thinking skills, into their lives. That is what I am to get from this project.
Absolutely, and that's so important, for the everyday life. I mean, which information do you use? Why do you use it? What are the consequences of the information you're using? It's at some point also about which almost philosophical thinking of what our philosophy professor will do this semester with our students. Like, which worldview are you taking on, and are you biasing, or do you look for information that is biased in direction of that particular worldview anyway? And do people have, do these worldviews change between countries anyway? It's like it's a very intriguing topic to me. And then we were talking about the international collaboration and what you are looking to gain from it, which impact you're looking to gain for the students, which brings me to another topic, thinking about your own professional and personal experiences on international experience. Mark was just before the live commenting. He had been to some conferences last week. And Nathalia was mentioning about the previous COIL project. Would you like to comment a little about your own experiences and how they have impacted you?
Well, this is my first COIL, but I'm looking forward to it. I mentioned the Prague program that I led and enjoy very much. I also led a program on contemporary British media many years ago. And when I was an undergrad, I studied at the University of Manchester for a quarter. That was a great experience there. But I think I can tell you about this most recent experience, the World Journalism Education Congress, which only meets every third year. Met this year in San Francisco as an emergency, originally planning to meet in Perth, but for some reason it had to move. And it joined forces with our big American Association for Journalism. AEJMC is the initials. Anyhow, AEJMC welcomed in World Journalism Education Congress. And I gave a presentation to one of their teaching sessions. And it was about, and it was well received. And maybe this idea will start popping up around the globe, because my idea was that students do not read textbooks. Let's face it, let's admit it. And so I decided, in lieu of a textbook, my students would be each individually paired with and assigned a really good piece of reporting. This was an advanced reporting course. So a Pulitzer Prize winning series on abuse of child labor around the globe, or an award-winning series involving graphics about how an AR-15 bullet destroys the body. I mean, there were a wide range of these. I picked them off of various US and international websites of contests of award-winning journalism. I paired those each with a student. The student had to read it, write a 7 to 10 page paper, and do a 7 to 10 minute presentation in class about this bit of good journalism and what made it good. And it was a phenomenal success. The students loved the exercise. They learned not only from their own work, but from that of others in the class who talked about what made that work good. It was mostly textual, but there were also documentaries in there, and even a couple podcasts and radio pieces. So it was, I thought, a really good moment of my teaching, and I shared it, and others were very enthusiastic and pledged to steal the idea, which I encouraged them to do. So that's just an example of just a weird little sending out waves across the globe moment.
That's very cool. That's a very cool project. And that's wonderful. I still, of course, we could be talking here like an hour more about how you completely ditched the textbooks. I think that's a very bold move. But again, maybe it is because it's an advanced reporting course, so maybe they have a stronger framework already from basic, so they are ready to analyze because they are. But that's a wonderful work. I loved it. So what I can share a little bit is what I did last semester, which I believe was a success from both our own students, our classmates. We conducted a very successful, happy, fun COIL project. And I think we got very lucky with our classmates from Ukraine. They were very participative. They were in a big number as well. So that's not a problem for us. The more the merrier. And they were actually quite young. If we consider they are younger than our students because their educational system is a bit different there. So, and the students who were available were in the younger groups. So like late teens and so on. But our own students are quite young as well. So it was a good fit. And it was this great moment in which they shared. And I wanted to do something like, it is an introductory class. And so we discussed it, writers from both Brazilian and Ukrainian backgrounds, authors from a similar time, and they had a lot more similarities than we first thought of, which was amazing. And it was very fun to see them shocked and comparing. And even though they were quite different in what they wrote, one was a poet, the other was an important realism writer, they were very close in their backgrounds, and they had similar themes, even though approaching things in a different way. So what we did to finalize this project, first of all, I wanted to hear a little bit of their culture. Our students shared a little bit of our Brazilian culture. It was this amazing moment on Padlet. They talked a lot. They shared a lot. It was great. And then for the second moment, we discussed these authors, and then they created this video because I got inspired from this girl that went viral commenting on a book by the Brazilian writer. So I was like, yeah, guys, you guys have to do something like this. Your take on it. Go ahead, be creative, get creative. And they love social media. And I think, like I said, this group, because it was a bit younger, they enjoyed this activity very much. Their videos were like, they had to be 1 minute, 30 seconds tops. And they were able to talk and to share about it. And it was a great, great subject, great ending of project, because again, it is a short-term project. It is 3 weeks. So we can't overwhelm them as well with a longer exposure. Yes, so I think it was a very good match between our own students, the themes, and the ending project. They were very happy about it as well.
Yeah, I love these COIL projects. They get out so much opportunities and results and engagement from the students. And I know, Marcus, your first COIL project, but I'm absolutely sure your students are going to love it as well. It's just, an opportunity of getting connected to another country, to working together collaboratively and internationally. And getting to know about each other and each other's backgrounds. So just to wrap it up, you've already talked a little about curiosities in the beginning. So is there any other curiosity that you would like to share with students about the project, about yourselves, about community around you? So in order to get them warmed up for the project?
Well, I would just say that one thing that I think is going to happen almost incidentally here, but very importantly, is that I think the students will come to realize they need a good news diet. They can't just rely on whatever news comes to them from what friends pass along through social media or what comedians are making fun of. They really need to have a steady news diet. And if that means going to traditional sources, such as a Wall Street Journal or New York Times or BBC or Reuters, then so be it. You can incorporate one traditional news source in your otherwise cutting edge source list of where you go to find information. And I think that will be a good, but probably incidental result to the larger project.
I think it's and this is an overall problem, I believe, right? And I think it's a great message. I will hand this in right away as soon as possible, right? Because I think it's a great tip. And most importantly, I think the thing about a COIL project to make it work is to be, if I could like define in one word, it's not collaboration, it's exposure. You have to be willing to expose yourself and to talk to people that you haven't even met in person. And we know sometimes we get shy, we get anxious, and that's okay. It's a part of everyone's personality. But if I could like sum up in like one word and what you have to come into classes in the COIL project and the project itself is that know that you are going to get exposed, not in a bad way, but in a way that you are opening up yourself to new people, new subjects, new professors, new instructors, new material, and even a new news diet. I love this term. So you have to be able and willing to get exposed here, which is not a bad thing at all.
I loved it. And you shouldn't be afraid of it. It's like sometimes you feel like, no, let's go back to what is easier for us, like, for example, speaking Portuguese, speaking English, speaking our native language, whatever it might be. Sometimes easier to work in groups that are similar, but the great opportunity of COIL is really to get the opportunity to get out of your comfort zone and to get to be willing to get exposed in a way that Nathalia was saying. Is there anything that you would like to add, like any finalizing comments?
I would like to say that I'm very excited. I think it's going to be an amazing project. I love journalism, and I think it's going to be a very, very, very fun project and very nice and very enriching for everyone. Me personally, I'm so excited to get back to this area.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And I think my students will have a good time.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to the launching of this project in October. And thank you so much again for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.